All right, we decided to explore. We've been cutting ourselves a path here, and all of this is blackberry. There's a few fallen logs in there, so that'll be kind of difficult. It'll take some work to create paths or something to get in here, but I bet there's at least a half acre of just solid blackberry through here, from these trees up into here, all the way across to this tree line up there, and then all the way back into these trees here. There's just swamp grass fern and blackberry. I mean, nice big thick blackberries. So I am not sure how we will cultivate this to get access to it all, but this is pretty much forever going to be our blackberry patch. We will just work that so that it stays that way, and we have, for us, an unlimited supply of wild blackberries. This is fantastic.
I failed on my tracking roll.
So,
Against?
no, it's a branch. So we've got this fallen tree that's blocking our path. I'm not sure where the base is. We haven't dug into this. It's somewhere in this little clump over here. But the interesting thing is that the tree fell and did not die. So on the branches here, we have live buds. Come on, focus. There you go. So, in fact, I'm based on the bark and the soon-to-be leaves, I'm thinking it's a cherry. We'll have to wait to find out. We tried to pull it out of the way, and it's a little stubborn. The ATVs aren't big enough. The mud's too thick, you know, tree's too thick, whatever. It doesn't want to budge. So we'll leave it here and see if it really is a cherry. Oh, yeah, there is another. Oh, you know what? I bet they're the choke cherries we were looking at in the July. We know there's choke cherries out here, so well, good. There's two more right there at least. So if we do have to cut it to clear a path, then that'll be good. But there's another fallen log right here. I tried going up that way first, and there's another log. I don't know. Who knows? It might actually be the same tree. But this is what we are trying to get to today. All the leftovers. Why do I only have one glove? That's a problem. We hiked partway up into here when we actually bought the land in December, and we found this, but we didn't get close enough to really see how big it is. We saw that on satellites. Hello, glorious blackberry. I would like to move you. Oh, you are rooted on both ends. Okay. Yes, we are. Much further than we did last time. Okay. There you go. There's another fallen tree there. This is a lot bigger than it looks like on satellite images. That's all gonna get burned. in a fireplace or a fire pit, of course, but I mean, look at these blackberries. They're just huge. That's my finger compared to the blackberry. These things are like 15 feet long. Ooh, these guys are all even bigger. Okay, this is our old wood pile. Now, I will be the first to admit I am being extremely stupid by being up here. This wood is super old. Hey look, praying mantis egg. This pile has been here since they harvested, which was about 11 years ago now. Emily's, yeah, I don't advise coming up here. I'm not finding decent purchase. Okay. However, I am now close enough that I can get some pictures of these trees so we can try and identify them because they go all the way up the hill. However, as I was saying, sorry. This is the view from what will eventually be our upstairs windows. We will have a road that comes in across the top here, right along the base of the mountain, and it'll loop around and come right around the base here. And we will have our houses in between with access on the first floor from right here, and it'll come out, and then we'll have an open basement with access right down here out to the bottom street, and it'll be big enough that fire trucks can turn around because, you know, that's a requirement. And eventually down here by the road, the highway, we're going to plant about 500 pine trees. Douglas firs, western red cedars, and nobles is what we can get in our forestry program. And yep, this is the stuff that we need to identify and figure out whether we thin it to allow it to continue to grow, or whether we basically plow it down, let all the little pine trees up here grow, and plant more pine trees, because, oh yeah, and all that stuff is ours too. This really tall stuff here, as far as we know, has never been harvested, or it was harvested 60 years ago or more. That's not our property. The little stuff right here, that is our property. That stuff was harvested 50 years ago, 45 years ago, something like that. Up to right there where these trees start. All of this was harvested 11 years ago. And then over here, this is no longer our hill. We own everything from there up to the top of the hill, all the way across the top of the hill to those trees, down to about there, in about 250 feet, and then down to the highway, and all the way across the highway to right there, and then up the fence right there, all the way up the hill. That's all ours. And, you know, we'll have this in, hopefully 3 to 5 years. If the job market keeps going the way it is right now because of the wonderful coronavirus and I can't find a job, then, you know, it'll take a lot longer. We shall see. And that's assuming I get down without falling into the wood pile. And requiring an ambulance to try and drive up here and take me to a hospital, because that will not be cool. Which is why I was saying I am pretty stupid for being up here. I will be the first to admit that, and the last. Well, maybe not the last, you know. A lot of people are going to admit that with me. But isn't that what King of the Hill is all about? I never played it as a kid, so I always looked at it and went, screw that. I'm going to go inside and paint. So if this is not what King of the Hill is all about, then I will be corrected. Oh, look at that. We've got blackberries coming up through the woodpile. Anyway, yeah, don't stand on 10-year-old fallen logs that have been decaying the whole time. This will be cut up and piled up. I was kind of, to be honest, I was hoping it was small enough that we could just throw a bunch of balloons filled with gasoline on it and light it on fire. It is not that small. I'm allowed to burn a slash pile up to 20 feet in diameter. This is definitely bigger than 20 feet in diameter. It's probably 30 feet across. And I bet it's close to 100 feet long now that I'm actually up here. I'm in the middle, pretty close, and I bet it's 35 feet that way and 40 feet that way to the edge of the pile. So too big for a slash and burn pile. But anyway, this is where our house will go. Huzzah! We used the ATVs. You can see them right here. Let's see. It's a digital zoom on this, so it kind of sucks, but I'll try and do it nicely. So, yep, see. There's the ATVs. Well, there's one of them. The other one's actually right there. And we got pretty close, but there's just too many fallen logs through there. But yeah, this clearing right here, this will be our garage. It'll be 40 feet by 60 feet, 2-story barn style. Street in between. House, the main house here, there's our accessory dwelling unit, will go right there. We got to thin this out, which will be actually really nice because we'll get lots of ash out of there. Man, those are taller than they actually look from the highway. But we'll thin out all of this ash so that all of this stuff here is similar to this stuff here, and that way we can plant around them and in between them and stuff. Yeah, just for shits and giggles. Yep, there's our wood pile. This is where our house will be. I am standing in and about the height of our master bedroom. Maybe a few feet lower. I bet the master bedroom's right about here. And, you know, I'm standing here. So, anyway. Alright, well, I learned something new about our property. We thought it went all the way to the waste treatment over here. Turns out it doesn't. It goes to the edge of their fence, which I don't know if you can see. It's right there coming off the highway. And then it just ends for some reason. It shoots along here. And then it comes out to here and then it comes along here. So this field, if you can call it a field, is not our property. There is what used to be a fence here. There's a fence posted there. There's another one there. There's another one right there. So this is, sinking. This is the border of our property. Good to know. There's kind of a line of trees here that forms like this, and then down the other side that way. So that's good to know. Anyway, found the end of our property, and shadows are getting long, so it's time to go back. But I just wanted to have some fun, so I was four-wheeling out here because, you know, why not? All right, so now I'm on the south side of our property. This fence here clearly marks our property. And that's where I want to put grapes, all along that fence. Lots and lots and lots of grapes. And then coming 30 feet in from the fence will be lots of pines. Down here, it's fairly wet a good portion of the year. So we will have to probably plant mostly western red cedars down here. But we have some gorgeous ash trees in here. Lots and lots of tall ash. This front area is pretty nice. We can just clear this and plant, you know, whatever we need. We've got an area in here where we toyed with putting the rabbits, but it's a little bit difficult to get back in here. So that might not happen. It might. It's still a really nice spot to put the rabbits. They're protected from just about, you know, anything that we need to protect them from. Neighbors' dogs mainly. Coyotes. Granted, coyotes out here are definitely an issue. But anyway, yeah, so yeehaw. All right, just because I can, I'm gonna get some footage holding the... All right, just because I can, I might be getting my wife unstuck. Or not. Alright, so this is the edge of our blackberries again. But what we've just discussed is that this is where we want to kind of clear to put some spots for friends and family to put tents in. We want to put a fire pit right in here. We'll clear some spots out here and a little bit more out here to put some tents and stuff. It is a little exposed to the highway, but it is what it is. It's a nice spot aside from that, and I've been a lot closer and more exposed to highways in commercial campgrounds, so no, you know, yeah. So let me show you what we just cleared. It's going to be bumpy because I'm just trying to hold my camera as I drive. And I'll go a little bit slow so I don't bounce too much and don't lose control, because that would suck. But this is the path that we cleared. You can see it up here. And then we kind of gave up on clearing through here because it was mostly just grass. Whereas down this direction there was a lot of blackberry and rose. So we've driven it only a couple of times, but the ground is wet enough that you can see it's already developing some ruts in it. I'm only going about 5 miles an hour right now. Ooh, nice and muddy. Just on a side note, same thing as the blackberry here, but this is all rose. We toyed with a little bit with camping fire pit here, just because it's closer to us, not so far away, but it's all good. Driveway. Alright, so figure this is a decent way to end the day. This is why we why we collected the trimmings from today, and why we didn't mind. I startled him. This is why we didn't mind cutting a trail through the shrubs. It's because it all became bunny treat, and this in about 2 minutes is going to be an amazing sunset. Or was it 2 minutes ago? We shall see. Anyway, that was our fun day of playing on the property.